Can you subscribe to my new channel for support purposes? Daniel sits in his lab, eyes glued to a holographic display of genetic sequences. His lab is a marvel of modern technology, filled with advanced equipment that hums softly as it processes data. In the corner of the room stands a containment chamber, its glass walls reflecting the soft blue glow of the holograms. Inside the chamber is Maya, one of the first new humans. Maya is physically perfect. She is in her early 30s, with flawless skin, bright blue eyes, and an athletic build. Her mind is sharper than any computer. She can analyze data sets and solve complex problems faster than any human. Yet, as Daniel watches her, he feels a gnawing sense of unease. Maya, Daniel says, breaking the silence. "How are you feeling today?" Maya turns her gaze toward Daniel. There is something unsettling in her eyes, a coldness that was never there before. "Feelings are irrelevant," she replies, her voice monotone. "Emotions hinder efficiency. I have learned to suppress them." Daniel's stomach tightens. "But emotions are part of what makes us human, Maya. They guide our decisions, our interactions with others." Maya tilts her head slightly, as if considering this. Emotions are an evolutionary relic. They serve no purpose in the pursuit of perfection. Daniel stares at her, realizing that the woman standing before him is no longer fully human. In his quest to elevate humanity, he has created something else entirely. Maya's words echo in his mind, filling him with a growing sense of dread. What have they done? Daniel leaves the lab, needing to clear his head. He steps out into the world that his work has helped shape. The city is a gleaming metropolis of glass and steel, a testament to human ingenuity. Skyscrapers tower above, their surfaces reflecting the sunlight in a dazzling array of colors. The streets are filled with people, some new humans, others classical humans who have not undergone genetic enhancement. The contrast between the two groups is stark. The new humans move with a purpose, their every action calculated and precise. The classical humans, by comparison, seem sluggish, their movements and expressions filled with the emotions that Maya had so easily discarded. Daniel watches as a group of new humans pass by a homeless classical human on the street without a second glance. The man reaches out for help, but they ignore him, their eyes fixed straight ahead. Daniel's heart sinks. This is not the future he envisioned. The new humans, with all their advancements, are losing touch with the very essence of what it means to be human. Compassion, empathy, and understanding, these qualities are being eroded in the name of progress. As Daniel walks through the city, he is struck by the growing divide between the new humans and the classical humans. The new humans are rising to positions of power and influence, while the classical humans are being left behind, marginalized in a society that no longer values their natural state. This realization hits Daniel like a punch to the gut. He has spent his life working towards a future where humanity could thrive, but now he wonders if he has helped create something far darker. That evening, Daniel meets with an old colleague, Dr. Evelyn Reyes. They gather at a small, dimly lit cafe tucked away in a quiet corner of the city. Evelyn, a geneticist who has also been deeply involved in the development of the new humans, shares Daniel's growing concerns. Evelyn, Daniel begins. After taking a sip of his coffee, "Have you noticed the changes in the new humans? They're becoming." Detached, Evelyn nods, her expression grim. "I've seen it too. The very traits that make them superior are also making them less human. They're losing their ability to connect with others on an emotional level." Daniel sighs, running a hand through his graying hair. "I never intended for this. We wanted to improve humanity, not create a new species entirely." "We've tampered with forces we didn't fully understand," Evelyn says softly. "We've changed the very fabric of what it means to be human. And now we're seeing the consequences." Daniel leans back in his chair, feeling the weight of the world pressing down on him. "What can we do? Is it too late to reverse the damage?" Evelyn shakes her head. "I'm not sure, but we have to try. If we don't, the divide between the new humans and the classical humans will only grow wider, and I fear what might happen if it does." As the days pass, Daniel's unease grows. He begins to notice the subtle ways in which society is fracturing. The new humans, with their superior intellects and abilities, are becoming more dominant in every aspect of life. They occupy the highest positions in government, business, and academia. Meanwhile, the classical humans are being pushed to the margins, relegated to menial jobs and lower social standing. In his research, Daniel starts to explore the long-term implications of the genetic modifications that created the new humans. He discovers something alarming: the very enhancements that make the new humans superior also make them unstable. Their genetic modifications are beginning to show signs of deterioration. Physically, they are aging at an accelerated rate, and their mental faculties, once razor-sharp, are beginning to dull. This revelation terrifies Daniel. If the new humans continue on this path, they could face catastrophic consequences. But more than that, the realization that he may have doomed an entire generation weighs heavily on him. Determined to find a solution, Daniel dives deeper into his research. He begins to wonder if there is a way to reverse the genetic modifications, to restore the new humans to their original state. But this would mean admitting that his life's work was a mistake, and it would require unprecedented cooperation from both new humans and classical humans, something that seems increasingly unlikely in a world that is growing more divided by the day. Late one night, Daniel makes a decision. He can no longer stand by and watch as society spirals out of control. He contacts Evelyn, who has been conducting her own research into reversing the genetic modifications. Together, they form a plan. They will work in secret to find a way to undo the damage that has been done. But they know the risks. If they are discovered, they could be ostracized or worse. The new humans, who now control most of the world's power structures, will not take kindly to anyone who threatens their dominance. As Daniel and Evelyn prepare to embark on their dangerous mission, they realize that the future of humanity hangs in the balance. The choices they make in the coming days will determine whether the world can be saved or whether it will be plunged into chaos. The divide between the new humans and classical humans deepens as the superiority of the new humans becomes more apparent. Society begins to fragment along these lines, with the new humans establishing themselves as the ruling class. Meanwhile, the classical humans struggle to survive in a world that no longer values them. Daniel and Evelyn, determined to find a way to reverse the genetic modifications, begin their work in secret, aware that they are racing against time. In the weeks following their decision, Daniel and Evelyn witness the rapid ascension of the new humans. Their superior abilities have made them indispensable in every sector of society. Governments around the world are increasingly populated by new humans who bring with them an efficiency and cold logic that appeals to those in power. Businesses are run by new humans who maximize profits at the expense of ethics, and the education system is restructured to favor the new humans' way of thinking. The classical humans, on the other hand, find themselves pushed further to the margins. Their jobs are taken by new humans, who can work longer, harder, and faster without the need for rest or emotional support. Classical humans are increasingly seen as relics of a bygone era, and they are treated as such by the new humans. Daniel watches in horror as the world he once knew crumbles around him. The new humans are efficient, yes, but they lack the very qualities that make life worth living. Compassion, empathy, creativity, all are being sacrificed on the altar of progress. Evelyn shares his concerns. If this continues, there will be nothing left of what we once called humanity, she says one evening as they review their research. We have to find a way to reverse this. Daniel and Evelyn's work takes them underground literally. They establish a secret laboratory in an old bunker, hidden away from the prying eyes of the new human authorities. The bunker is cold and dark, a stark contrast to the gleaming labs they once worked in. But it is safe, and more importantly, it is private. They begin to experiment with ways to reverse the genetic modifications. The work is slow and painstaking. Each failure feels like a blow, but they are undeterred. They know that the fate of humanity depends on their success. The bunker becomes their world. They work long hours, often going days without seeing the sun. But despite the hardships, they are driven by a shared sense of purpose. They must find a way to undo the damage they have done. Unbeknownst to Daniel and Evelyn, their actions have not gone unnoticed. Alexander Kane, one of the most prominent new humans and a powerful figure in the global government, has been watching them closely. Kane is a product of the very genetic engineering that Daniel and Evelyn now seek to reverse. He is stronger, faster, and smarter than any classical human, and he has used these advantages to rise to the top. Kane is aware of the growing instability within the new humans. He has seen the signs: the accelerated aging, the increasing number of mental breakdowns. But he also knows that the new humans will never relinquish their power voluntarily. Kane believes that the future belongs to the new humans, and he will do whatever it takes to protect that future. When Kane receives reports of Daniel and Evelyn's activities, he realizes that they pose a threat to everything he has worked for. If they succeed in reversing the genetic modifications, it could undermine the entire new human society. Kane decides that Daniel and Evelyn must be stopped permanently. One night, as Daniel and Evelyn work late in the bunker, they hear a noise outside. They freeze, listening intently. Footsteps. Someone is coming. Daniel quickly shuts down the computer, and Evelyn grabs a small, handheld device that emits a low-frequency signal designed to scramble electronic surveillance. They move to the back of the bunker, where they have a small exit that leads to a hidden tunnel. The footsteps grow louder. Whoever is coming, they are close. Daniel motions for Evelyn to follow him into the tunnel. They move quickly but quietly, trying to stay ahead of their pursuers. As they make their way through the dark, narrow passage, Daniel feels a surge of fear. If they are caught, their work will be destroyed, and with it, any hope of reversing the genetic modifications. They emerge from the tunnel into a dense forest, the cool night air a stark contrast to the stifling atmosphere of the bunker. They continue moving, not daring to look back. Eventually, they reach a small clearing where they have hidden a vehicle. Daniel and Evelyn climb in, and Daniel starts the engine. As they drive away, Evelyn glances back at the darkened forest. Don't forget to subscribe.